games.
Yeah.
His deck is all spot removal, sweepers, and huge threats. Seems like he's pretty well configured against, very creature-oriented decks. Like I said before, I feel like ramp decks are probably problematic for him because he has a lot of stuff that doesn't really impact the board. He can't answer Titan that well. But against decks that are just playing conventional creatures, he has a lot of tools with which to take over a game.
Shaheen, it looks like, has the play with turn 1 Ponder. I really definitely don't want to be Shaheen in this matchup. Like, trying to play Tower Ends against Whip Flares, Bonfires, and even, like, Thundermaw Restoration Angel is pretty good against a bunch of Drakes.
Yeah. I don't know if you got the opportunity to watch the games yet, but Percy they were not close.
Yeah.
And just spot removals into sweepers, into Thundermaw, Hellkite.
Probe from Shaheen, looks like paying the 2 life, sees the bad news.
He kept...
Oh, his opponent's a little lag right there. Not even a Ponder. No respect. He's really
so
relying
I guess,
on Desperate
I guess Percy must have mulliganed. Because he's on the draw here with...
Oh, you're right.
He was... Okay, so probably a reasonable keep on the draw with the Desperate Ravings and the blue-red land.
I don't know. With this deck, I feel like he's got Ponders, he's got Ravings. Like, he can come back into a game. He needs to not fall out of a game. That would be my primary concern.
I think that hand's probably just fine to keep on the draw
if you don't know what you're playing against. I think I like that hand better because he knows the pillars are like going to be a lot stronger. But I'm not excited about trading.
We're gonna
snaps.
Silver Gill Adept here.
Shaheen knows he can probably just press an advantage here.
I mean, he's going to get pillared, assuming that.
Yep.
It's fine. Okay. So
if he can get into this deck, find a deep threat. Oh, he found a land. Oh, that's going to make pretty much all of Shaheen's plays a lot worse. That kills like actual every creature in the deck pretty close. No, he has one Augur of Bolus who is indestructible to Whip Flare.
All right, so Shaheen is sending back off of his Ponder. And this is a pretty big departure for Soorani. He is very strongly associated with control decks historically.
Yep.
His deck still has some reactive elements to it, but it is, for all intents and purposes, a beatdown deck.
Yeah, he came up to me between rounds actually, said he was struggling, having to attack all the time.
Right.
And that's why I told him, you should just be attacking all the time. They don't have it, I never have it, so they're not going to have it. It's paid off so far, clearly, he's X1.
All right, so Ponder. And Percy continues to claw his way out.
Chuckling, as I'm sure Shaheen was like, oh, a Ponder.
Sure.
Oh, that's a shuffle. That's grim. I mean, we can just assume there were no lands because his hand is filled with a bunch of sweet spells. Maybe you would send back like multiple sources that don't have a white land in this spot.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd do much more than that. If there was a white source in that pond,
I'd
I'd probably just keeping it.
Ideally, what you would want to do is ponder into an untapped land to be able to
Desperate Ravings.
Cast Desperate Ravings.
Or maybe, I guess he doesn't have any deals, right? Yeah. Worst case scenario, you can pillar this Snapcaster too, I guess.
Yeah,
it's not exciting.
Another
Ponder.
So still looking for an untapped,
I don't think
land.
we found one. Yeah, we did find one. That looked like 3 spells. One of my favorite things about the Ponder era of Magic is when it comes down to like the top deck moment of the game and how Ponder can just sweat it out. You just Ponder, shuffle, shuffle, draw. Ponder.
Another redraw, another sweat.
I love a sweat. I don't even roll dice 2 at a time.
So have we found our third land yet? Does not appear so.
It's a Blade Splicer, it looks like he drew.
Although, you'd have to imagine that if there's any creature in Magic that Soorani would want to be down with, it would have to be a Snapcaster Mage.
Oh, yeah. Big fan. Big fan of the Snapcaster Mage. He also really liked Talrand, as you said in our deck tech, but I don't think he's going to be a big fan of the Sky Summer in this matchup.
Oh, there it is.
Cannot be stopped. Let's see his outs to Augur of Bolus. He can double
Soorani is just burning through his deck, too. I mean, he's made a bunch of plays, but he still has a full grip.
Yep. One of the strengths of the blue decks in Standard right now is just creating minor pressure without actually losing cards in the process. Oh, there's a white
there's a land. We got a good sweat. Now we got our sweat.
Fanning him out. Oh, man, now we can get it from your eyes. Oh.
Okay. probably probably among the worst cards in this hand, I would assume.
I mean, maybe the second Pillar is worse. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Pillar's fine against a Snapcaster. And Soorani's deck also has 3 copies of Runechanter's Pike, and you can tell his deck is definitely set up to take advantage of that as much as possible. I mean, there's just so much cantripping and milling, and
it's already a +4/+0,
and that's after flashing back 2 spells. I mean, you know what I mean?
One of the reasons he's running 4 Thought Scour for sure. What's Shaheen got going on now? He had a 5th land, which is a little heavy for him. He doesn't usually want to hit 5 in game 1.
Yeah, he's basically Tolerance the top of his curve. So we got a bond. We're looking at a Blade Splicer, a Restoration Angel, a Bonfire of the Damned, a Whip Flare, a Phantasmal Image, and a second copy of Desperate Ravings.
Yep. Well, if he continues to hit lands, this hand is pretty strong.
Yeah, the big question now is just like how many mana leaks does Soorani have?
Yep.
Because he's not going to be able to defend himself from all of this action.
Now, one of the things going in Adam's favor is that he can get leaked a few times and he's only taking 3 damage. That's one of the things about Mono Blue Wizards. It doesn't have like a Geist.
There's a Pike.
There's a Pike, and it's on our indestructible one.
Right.
Now
and
we
a
have a real
gut
plot.
shot just
He's
to
adding a gut shot to get the extra Pike in. Yeah. It's a savvy play. A lot of people miss that, but
yep, it's a free
Shaheen's
2 points.
Not concerned about the Blade Splicer, or he may actually just have another Snapcaster Mage already in hand, and so he's going to get the value then.
Yep.
Specifically, not concerned about Blade Splicer or Resto Angel.
I mean, that's a pretty slow grind.
I think we can probably assume he has a snag available, right? I didn't see the reveal of Augur Bolus, to be honest.
It was Gataxian Probe.
It was the probe that he cast?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we hit a land there. Adam has really no choices beyond the Blade Splicer, right? Like.
Yep. It's been nothing but Coastal Towers this game.
Yeah. I guess he could Whip Flare Pillar? Like.
I mean, he's got to do something, right?
Yeah, like,
can't.
That's not that bad. I'm in Adam's position. I'm thinking I would be like, I can get my Blade Splicer down, but I think that path is like the likeliest one to lead to death.
Yes.
Of his available choices.
All right, well, let's see how this plays out.
One of the things I see about plays like this is like when I know my hand is really good, I try to just not lose.
Yes.
Because if I can get to the late game, I know I will probably win. But that's the thing that's hard, getting to the late game. Cavern. Probably this one's on whatever Talrand is.
Yeah.
Unless this first one was on Wizard, and then I don't know. Anyone's got Snuffle up, I guess, for Cavern here.
All right, another Snapcaster.
Yep. Snapcastering for the gut shot, so we probably have the Vapor Snag. If we didn't, we'd be pondering, I imagine. Oh, whoa. Oh, just
sure, another Pike.
That's pretty much the same.
All right, that's lethal, right? Or close to it. I mean, he's just chump blocking, and then.
Yeah. Well, he's not chumping. He gets a trade. Or no, he doesn't get a trade.
Yeah, they're first strikes.
Slicer, right?
Yeah. No, it's not lethal.
It's not lethal.
5 or something.
6, it looks like. So, that's 3.
I mean, Whip Flare plus.
Whip Flare plus whatever. Pillar here seems fine.
I don't know what he's knocking on his deck for.
Yeah, he's already got what he wants. I guess a bonfire, like he wanted full value. Sure. That's pretty greedy to root for the bonfire here when we're fine.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Okay,
all right. Cleared out the board. Can't ask for much more than that. So Shaheen definitely needs to just find another threat to seal the deal here.
Is he running? I don't think he has Invisible Stalkers, right?
Nope.
No. Okay. That would be pretty sweet, but that's not on the menu.
Visible Stalker, actually surprisingly not that durable against Percy's deck. He has a wide assortment of cards to take that thing out.
But he's burned most of them right now. Talrand, I imagine?
Doesn't have anything else to do for 4. I think the question is, like, does he want to cast Talrand? Does he want to wait until he has a spell to follow it up with? Or is he willing to risk it?
Well, it looks like he has a Delver as his other card there. The Delver, we're assuming a Talrand because he tapped 4 mana, and something else. There's the Talrand, there's the Delver, okay.
Alright, so he's potentially playing into another sweeper here.
I think he probably correctly assumes he just has to get going, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Percy has a pretty good play here of going Snapcaster. I guess he can't do both.
Yeah.
sorry, Image rather.
Image will be able to kill a tower end if he's desperate. Or he could get actually desperate and grave this.
Yeah.
He's just going to do it. Kill that. We've got our Restoration Angel on D. We're going to go ahead and resolve it before Shaheen can mana leak. Although if Shaheen makes this play, I think we can just safely assume he doesn't have a mana leak the vast majority of the time, right?
Right.
There's not really any downside since Shaheen knows the Resto Angel's there. But Shaheen looking for help.
Doesn't really matter too much. I mean, the Pike is still just lethal. He's in... Percy is in the Abyss, so... Ooh, and an Inkmoth Nexus is a backup plan. That's a pretty good draw.
Shaheen said he has surprised more than a few people with Inkmoth Nexus today. Image the Angel.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a chump. This is just a auto
we're just
chump.
trying to create lethal with our Image here.
You just gotta chump that.
It's going to be really awkward.
Yeah, Percy basically needs to find a sweep effect.
Yeah. Oh, now we are embodying Desperate Ravings this turn. Yeah, we're tapping correctly. There we go. 1, 2. Oh, there's a Whip Flare in there, I think.
Doesn't do anything about
Spies in 1 turn. Right? Or is the Inkmoth Nexus lethal with the... No, the Inkmoth Nexus is lethal too. Man, yeah, we're really cold here. Bonfire. That was a pillar, not a Whip Flare. We can Pillar Flame Delver and hope Shaheen can't count.
I think there's too much to be done here.
I have a feeling Shaheen's going to count.
Yeah, there's basically 3 different...
Yep. Get that guy out of the game. Check on the top. Looking at Percy actually doesn't have that much instant speed removal. Beyond like miracling a bonfire through Desperate Ravings, he has just Dismembers. And I guess Restoration Angel.
Alright, I guess
this one for kicks.
Sure. See what's up.
I guess in this position you could be faking a gut shot. And since
But,
you're not running
well, no, because Gutshot... Oh, yeah.
That's
well,
like
Gutshot's still lethal.
Oh, you're right. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, you can't even Gutshot out of this.
I mean, it's a fake play anyway, so
Right,
I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, he shows them the Dismember, and it's like, oh, well, I could have done this or this, but no, none of those happened.
So, Percy down a game.
Yep.
Fumbled around quite a bit with his mulligan there, unfortunately for him.
Yep, that is definitely true. He didn't get got on that Blade Splash trick. I really thought he was going to, but Shaheen, despite all of his many cantrips, had actually not developed a particularly strong hand.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of it might have to do with just like how high, assuming that you don't know his list, given what his start is, it's sort of hard to know how much you're supposed to value Vapor Snag against him. Because you could actually be pretty close to creatureless, and you don't want to be sitting on one of these snags.
Yeah. That is definitely one of the perks of this game. Shaheen did not see a lot of Adam's trickiest cards. I wouldn't have shown that Dismember if I were Adam. That's like a big card to know exists.
Yeah.
But definitely he didn't see the Thundermaw Hellkites, which will throw off all kinds of mana.
So going to the board here, Shaheen has access to a couple of nice spells. He has 3 copies of Spellskite, which turn off some range of his removal.
Yep.
Also, not a horrible thing for picking up a Pike. It's not easy to bonfire out.
Yeah,
he has 2 copies of Negate, which are fine. 3 copies of Mental Misstep, which I'm not a huge fan of here. I would probably stay away from.
What about the Tamios?
I feel like that's probably got to be more for like mid-range creature matchups. Like I don't think you want that against a deck where, you know, if you know he has, you know, Thundermaw, Hellkite, and a couple of the other mid-range threats that are just. I have a feeling that's not the matchup you want this guy for, but you know, who knows?
Possible. It also depends on whether Shaheen thinks Adam has mana leaks or would keep them in even if he did,
yes. Which
he doesn't know. This is the sort of deck you might expect a mana leak from, but he didn't see them and he doesn't have them. So,
on Percy's side of the table here, he has a Divine Offering, 2 copies of Combust, and 2 Day of Judgment, which I think that you would want all those cards. Nothing else in the sideboard really stands out, something you'd want.
He does have 3 mana leaks in his sideboard. Curious,
yeah,
but I doubt he'll bring him in.
Yeah, Shaheen's deck was so mana efficient that game.
Yeah.
All his threats are so cheap that mana leak just seems poor.
whenever I was playing Delver Mirrors, I never really liked Mana Leak, but I would sometimes bring in, or keep in, I should say, like 1 or 2, depending on what I was doing and when we were on the player of the draw, because it's a nice card to keep people honest on.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the mirror matches, you can sideboard into these Day of Judgment, Gideon, Suntank packages. If you've cut all the Mana Leaks, then you're just caught with your pants down if your opponent's going like over the top.
Definitely.
So a couple of copies can definitely keep them honest. So for those of you who aren't fully aware of what your roles and responsibilities are, what is it exactly that you do for Star City?
I am the event coverage coordinator.
Okay.
Which basically means at these I coordinate the coverage. I figure out the feature matches, figure out what people are playing, get these nice gentlemen in the booth some deck lists. I do my own video features over at the sideboard, which hopefully you guys have seen and hopefully also enjoyed. Although I'll take 1 out of 2. That's reasonable.
Sure.
And that is the extent of it mostly. I'll interact a lot with you guys on Twitter. Anytime you guys want to see a specific deck or something needs to be brought to our attention, which has happened recently, I'm the guy who's looking for those messages. So definitely use the hashtags, message us, we'll see it.
So are you, you're currently traveling to just all the Open Series in Q4, or?
I've been to the last 6, I think, something like that, but Ruben Bresler, who I'm hopefully, again, you guys know from the Newsning and a few of our other media fanfares, Ruben's going to be doing a lot of my duties for the latter half of the year, and we'll be trading off shows. I believe his first show, all by his lonesome, no training wheels, is Buffalo next weekend.
Okay.
Yep. I'll be PTQing in Maryland. I get my 1 a season, so that's mine.
All right, so we're off to game 2 here. Percy starts with a basic mount and an all-cast Cataxian Probe. Reveals Sulphur Falls, Restoration Angel, a second Restoration Angel, a Whip Flare, Dismember, and Combust. So we're a little land light, and we are also missing white mana, but Percy definitely has some tools to defend himself with.
Yeah, he can make this game go to later turns, which will buy him more draw steps to find those lands. I like this hand a lot more when you have a Ponder or Desperate Ravings or something, but it's
probably still can't mulligan that hand.
It's probably better than your average 6, which means you should be keeping it. And it definitely can win the game, so it meets the Jerry T rule of can I win the game? Shaheen with no aggro, just a pike.
Oh, there's a nice draw. A Clifftop Retreat.
Yep, showing that one off. It's even shiny. Inkmoth Nexus, we technically have a threat now. Next turn we could begin clocking in for as much as 2 poison for 4 mana.
Alright, some running land draws. Pretty good draw steps there for Percy over the last couple turns.
Yeah. You gotta draw something, Patrick.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of spells he could be drawing that wouldn't be very good with that hand. He's got enough Thundermaw, Hellkites, and Sun Titans in that deck to make for some awkward draw steps.
One of my favorite Billy P maxims, he keeps landline hands a fair bit, and he's like, I have to get lucky to win most of my matches. I just like to know how I'm getting lucky.
Oh, Cavern of Souls.
That's pretty fair.
That is.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he named Angel.
I'm going to guess it was Angel.
This game is looking really grim for Shaheen very suddenly.
No momentum.
I'm real curious as to what Shaheen hung on to here. He's got, it looks like a snag, a snapcaster,
I think he's been sitting on Mana Leak for a couple turns.
You think?
After that Cataxian Probe. And now
he's going to get a little punished for it. He's going to do this. This is interesting.
Alright.
I imagine that we have something.
I can't imagine we have nothing.
Yeah. Are we vapor snagging? That seems weird. I would have equipped the pike if I was going to do that, unless I really wanted to hold open leak for... Well, I mean, we know Adam has like non-plays on the next turn anyway, so I don't see a lot of value in holding open leak here. I think this plays a little better if you equip the pike, but it's...
Well, the thing about it is he's still aware of Dismember,
yeah.
So...
I mean, the Dismember is problematic, but I don't know what else you can do. This seems weird. Like, I wouldn't make this attack unless I just immediately knew what I was going to do. We're just snagging and poking in.
Alright, so there's 1 poison.
1 and 1 with the Vapor Snag.
Fighting him on both fronts.
Yeah. He likes to keep his options open.
So I guess Percy, I would imagine, is not going to be playing into the Mana Leak with the Dismember here, unless he has something really awesome he wants to open up for next turn.
He's probably made the same read as us. Oh yeah, we did notice we have actually a small typo in our subject lines up there. Good, Evan Irwin just alerted me to it. Adam Percy's playing blue-white-red mid-range, not blue-white Delver, as it incorrectly listed there. We'll get our director to fix that.
I assume that second counter assault probably would go on Dragon, I guess.
I guess, yeah. That's pretty much the only thing. Like at this point, you can Blade Splicer through a Mana Leak, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, it seems fine.
Also, it's just an awesome thing to name with your
It is cool to name. I'm sure Shaheen probably heard Dragon.
Dragon.
And he'd be like, what?
Alright, so... yeah. Alright, so there's the Restoration Angel.
In the end step, uncounterable.
And there's a Thundermaw.
There's a Daggerin.
We got a reader.
Shaheen's like, well, that's not very fair.
Yeah, what a deal.
And suddenly aggressive.
Yeah, that was the one thing I really liked a lot about Percy's deck is, like, once he gets control of the game, he doesn't take him long for him to actually just turn on the gas and kill you in 2 or 3 turns.
Like, take this sequence. You can do something like turn 4 Angel, turn 5 Hellkite, turn 6 attack again, and then Devil's Play you.
Yeah.
That's
it does
nuts.
not, yeah.
That's pretty much it. All you have to do to win the game from that stage is be alive and not be dead to your opponent's attacks during those turns, assuming they don't have other ways to interact with you. Well, Inkbot Nexus is going to block it up here.
Yeah, feels like you just let that happen. A lot of my critiques of the other control decks as it relates to the Delver matchup is that they can stave off, 1-for-1 and trade off threats or whatever. And we have a Phantasmal Image here. We're assume coming the Hellkite.
And once more.
Is this just lethal?
It doesn't look. Is it lethal?
No, I guess we're just going to 5. That's still a pretty big swing.
It's a pretty big game. We know that Adam has the pillar still in his hand.
Yeah, he can definitely kill that guy. But
we also didn't leave our Inkmoth Nexus open to block. If we
he might have some cantrips or whatever.
Sure. I mean, I assume he's doing something here.
He's just dismembering to save a point.
Yeah, that's fine here. We're going to untap and pillar or combust or whatever.
Yeah, but a lot of the control decks can stave off the Delver's early threats, but can't close out the game quickly enough. So things like Moorland Haunt plus Sword or Moorland Haunt plus Pike still punk them out of games where they get control. So it's actually nice to have a deck where you can kill pretty quickly once you've actually gotten control. Although another Phantasmal Image, I guess he has the Angel at this point, so he actually has insurance against another Phantasmal Image.
This is looking rough for Shaheen. He's on, I think, 7 now, right?
Last turn he got hit for
he took
7 last turn.
Oh yeah, sorry, it was 7 this turn, so yeah, he's at 8. Forgot about the infect counter. So bad. Snapcasting? What, pray tell, are we snapcasting? Well, if we're doing it like this, probing to try and find something.
Combust. I think he just drew Talrand off of the...
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Well, we have an Inkmoth Nexus that will be able to successfully block Thundermaw Hellkite, and will not be dead to this Restoration Angel, but we will be dead to the Pillar of Flame that follows.
I'm going to ponder first.
Didn't really see anything other than a ponder and some red spells, but that can't be good for Shaheen.
I can't imagine there's many red spells in this deck that are bad from this point.
Yeah. Devil's Play is definitely not one of them. Oh, he's snapcasting the snag, I guess?
Yeah, I guess. He still dies to the pillar, right?
He dies to everything still, actually. I hope I would pillar here. We don't want to show him that we have Devil's Play in our deck. That's a big card to know. But we're going to Devil's Play, all right.
Boom. All right, so game 3.
Kamehameha, you.
So, I mean, you've gotten a little bit of sense of this, I'm sure, doing the video features and just sort of getting to follow the coverage, but we're obviously still very early in the M13 standard metagame.
Yes.
But it looks like things are already dramatically different from where they were at pre-M13.
I think things are different in a pretty healthy way. I remember Sam Black was saying at St. Louis, he felt like Delver was going to not get played just because people want to play with the new cards some. But I legitimately think some of their power level is it's demonstrating like pretty good stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the end all be all to be playing Blue White Delver with your Resto Angels anymore. There are a bunch of these decks, like the green decks can actually beat the Delver decks. It does happen. A lot of them are even favored, as much as some people refuse to believe.
Yeah. No, I think you know, the green decks that we've seen in the booth and the red green decks have definitely been able to hold their own against the new builds of Delver. And also, interesting enough, a lot of the Delver builds have shifted over. We've had Eric Froelic's blue-green build earlier with Quirion Dryad.
Yep.
We had AJ Soccer, who was splashing red for Bonfire of the Dam mostly. And now we have Shaheen, who's splashing nothing at all. Just
Ink
straight
Moth
yeah. A gut shot splash. You want to call it that?
Yeah, no, I like that. It's pretty diverse now. It feels like actually, like the deck that has the least diversity, strangely enough, is like these Nyapod decks.
Yeah.
That are pretty much all the same, even though they have a ton of one-offs and whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, there's still time. You know, the toolbox, it actually takes a while to figure out exactly what kind of reactive and proactive cards you want. So that's the type of deck that's always going to be evolving, but it just takes a little bit of time, I think, for the metagame to settle down and for you to decide exactly what kind of stuff you want.
I know right now people are actually conflicted over Elvish Visionary and Strangler Geist in that deck. That's like a discussion.
Yeah.
Whether you want to try and just aim for the long game, which I like Visionary and Caleb's deck a little bit more because he was just trying to curve up to Elishnorn in the creature matchups. Like he didn't need to be fighting on the ground with Strangler Geists. But if you're playing a more aggressive build, if you want to play like swords, especially like in your main deck or sideboard, then I'm more inclined to feel like Strangler Geist is where you want to be. It's just what you want to do with your Magic deck, basically, which is nice to be able to actually choose what kind of Magic you want to play.
Yeah. So where do you land on the Visionary versus Strangler Geist side of the debate?
I personally, I really do like to attack, but I like Visionary a little more, mostly because of its ability to play with Restoration Angel in that deck. I think Restoration Angel is pretty much the best thing you can do offensively, regardless of whatever version you're playing. And the interaction with Visionary is pretty strong. It keeps you filled up, brimming with cards. All your spells are sweet, so... And with Gavany Township, it is still a very legitimate threat. Like, you will grow those guys. That's a plan in a lot of matchups. Like, just get your guy bigger and bigger and start attacking.
And our mono black deck feature guy wandering around here, trying to get an idea what his record is.
He was 6-0 last I checked.
Okay.
So, could be that he's in the mix. I think he lost last round to Zombies, so I think he's 6-1, and then whatever happened this round happened.
Yeah, it seems like it's very challenging for his deck to beat a broken pod, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the grimmer things going on with that deck. I mean, you could splash red into that deck pretty easily if you wanted. I guess you can't use Mutilate if you do that. You have to go with a full amount of Waxland Zeniths.
Yeah.
But that gives you access to some stuff, like you get Smelts, which is a cool card. Zealous Conscripts could even be good against a lot of these control decks. They just don't think you can generate a weird clock or steal their Planeswalker or do some stuff like that.
Punk you out when you play Titan, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Zealous Conscripts, I was actually talking with AJ earlier, it's like the card people play around the worst in Standard, I think. I've multiple times just heard people, you know, like, they're thinking out loud about what they got to do, and they're like, well, I'll hold this one back to block in case of Zealous Conscripts. That's a sentence I've heard more than a few times in the past couple
dead anyway.
Yeah, it's like, that's not how Zealous Conscripts works, man. Right. You're just still dead. He's just not going to steal the one you thought he was. Shaheen's got the play this time.
It's like he's...
Ooh. That's close. Felt like he was thinking about it. Looks like he's keeping. Adam's going to mulligan.
Yeah, mulligan at Adam.
Adam's definitely had the more interesting hands in these games. We haven't really been able to see Shaheen's, but I think it's safe to say.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, Soorani's deck is so redundant that a lot of his draws are going to be lands and then spells that are all roughly interchangeable.
Yep.
There's going to be some stuff he wants war at other points than others, but it's all cantrips and, you know, whatever. A couple defensive cards, a couple proactive cards.
I'm curious if Shaheen's sideboarding changed. You saw a lot more of Adam's deck in that game. Like, he can legitimately see how Adam's going to kill him now.
Yes.
So, I imagine a few things changed. It's possible. I don't think you think he would get scared enough of the dragons to bring in like a purge or two? I think one is like semi-reasonable with Snapcaster in the mix.
Yeah, I think having a singleton's okay. It looks like Adam's going to 5.
Immediately goes to 5. I think it's safe to assume that hand lacked one of 2 card types.
Yeah. Adam's deck pretty. It looks like he's got 25 land by my count.
Yeah.
17, 24, 5, yeah. 25 lands. A lot of mana.
He's got a lot of mana. He's been leaning on being able to draw it, so that's pretty much all you can do. You build your deck that way. I remember for States one year, I had a deck. It was like the Time Spiral Cold Snap era, and I built like a blue-white Momentary Blink deck. And in playtesting, the only games I was losing was when I got Mana Screw. I just kept adding lands until it stopped. I died in the finals to Mana Screw, of course.
Naturally.
28 lands though. I was serious business with that one.
I'm a little surprised that Percy doesn't have the full 4 Desperate Ravings, and that card's just in any sort of red-blue control deck. It's just insane.
When that card first came out, I was so excited because all I wanted to do with my life was play Shrine of Burning Rage and Desperate Ravings, because it just seemed like the most fun. And
I ran that for a bit. I had some. I had about a month where that was.
Yeah, you were on the Blue-Red Delver, right?
Yes.
I played that deck before Desperate Ravings and liked it, but I wasn't really playing Magic afterwards. But I tried to convince Jerry to do something with it, and he just wouldn't. Snapcaster Maging Brimstone Volleys just sounded like so much fun. We're pondering on turn 1 for Shaheen. Well, he had Island Ponder, so that meant his hand was a keep, in fact. It would have to be pretty bad. We've joked at Star City about the worst hands you can keep that still include Island Ponder. And as long as they have like less than 5 lands, it's usually still pretty reasonable.
Pretty hard to imagine.
Adam's hand looks like it is almost just 5 lands. I only saw like a quick glimpse, but I think we have a Bonfire, another Coast, and some lands. I think that's all that is. Oh, Thundermaw Hellkite.
Yeah, Bonfire, Thundermaw Hellkite, and 3 lands.
I would definitely keep that on 5, so.
Yeah.
Shaheen on 18. Might be seeing a Snapcaster Mage this turn.
That's probably been the highlight of my covered experience so far, is watching Percy's Thunderball Hellkites get in there. It's been a lot of fun. Everyone
predicted that card being big time in like the green-red aggro decks, but maybe not being good enough. So I'm glad that it saw some play in an archetype no one considered it for, I'm sure. Like this blue-white-red deck.
It is clearly an awesome threat. You know, whether or not it finds the home right away is a different question, but tackling that card's not powerful is insane.
I do really like incorporating it alongside Devil's Play. For the turn 5, attack you for 5, turn 6, attack you for 5, Devil's Play you for hopefully the rest. I like that.
I'm a little surprised that he didn't play his red source that turn, because it means that if he draws a Bonfire here, then it's...
He can't Bonfire the Snapcaster. Maybe he just never would. Is that his thought process?
No way. You're not going to do anything better. Now you would definitely Bonfire.
Yeah, now we definitely would
Bonfire these knuckleheads.
Although on the other hand, maybe Shaheen wouldn't play it. No, he'd probably play the Devil. Now we can cast our Bonfire, but it's probably going to waltz right into a Mana Leak.
I don't know what we're supposed to do otherwise.
Yeah. Adam's got to do it. He knows Shaheen wouldn't make this play without the leak, but...
So it is.
Leak check. Delver remains a human. Puny human.
So...
Got that Thundermaw. It looks like an image is our other card there that we drew this turn.
In Percy's hand?
Yep.
Yeah, Percy has an image.
Interesting. Probably not going to be relevant in the near future, but perhaps in the semi-near future.
Pike and suspiciously says go.
No Mana Leaks here, boss. No Mana Leaks here. Interestingly, like this play, Shaheen can afford to make it because he knows Adam doesn't have a Cavern. And what are the odds he drew a Resto Angel and a Cavern, you know?
Yeah.
Like, pretty slim. We're going to cast Blade Splicer here, make a Golem. Shaheen appears to be thinking that's
not
fine.
Too concerned about it,
If he has a Vapor Snag, this play is going to get... Oh, Thought Scour. Man, he always gets my hopes up. No Snag. Interesting. Well, our Delver flips.
There's
and now we're just going to attack for a bunch of damage. Pondering. Equipping. Probably playing a land and passing with Leak up again. That seems pretty reasonable.
Sure. Not a bad turn. Seen worse.
What's the amount of damage going to be there? It's 9, it looks like. 9 with a Mana Leak up. Assuming we're not going to Gut Shot for value or something, too.
I'd be surprised if those were still in his deck.
Yeah, me too, but...
Who knows?
Who knows? Shaheen's a tricky man.
Yeah.
Oh, do we not have the 5th land? We've told our opponent that we have a Mana Leak, basically. So... The nice thing is he does know basically all of Adam's draws. Like, he knows he's only getting killed by a top deck here, basically. if he does. Oh, he has the land. I don't know what he was thinking about. Maybe his hand is really interesting instead of just a little interesting.
So I believe we're on a 2-turn clock right now.
Yep. That was straight up 9 damage, so that puts us to 6. Well, we peaked. Our Hellkite is in the abyss, or our Phantasmal Image is in a very risky abyss. Those are our choices. What's the other card here? Divine Offering. Wow!
Oh, not bad.
Wow!
We'll take it.
With 3 up. That's so good.
We'll take it.
Does Shaheen have another pike in his hand? Is that card on
I
the
think
left?
he might have pondered. I think he might have pondered and saw one.
Negate. He's just got the straight up negate. We were wrong. No leaks here, just negates. Shaheen doesn't know the image. That's the card he doesn't know in Adam's hand. So I guess he's thinking, man, I don't want to get whip flared here. Maybe I should just let him get my pike. I think he has another pike in hand.
I think he might have set one down with a pawn. Maybe he has one in hand. Maybe.
I think he has one. I'm not sure. But then he also risks 9 to dismember, which is a card he has seen. So, yep. All right. Good for Shaheen. Manned up, negated.
Yep. Seems like correct. Like, what's the odds that the last spell was something better than that, and he didn't cast it last turn? Just seems impossible.
I'm relatively sure that was Shaheen's thought process too. Yeah. this isn't believable.
I don't believe that there's something better than this coming.
Well, we need to remove Phantasmal Image, and virtually anything will do that if we can find virtually anything. See, I love these. It's the best. Oh, we have a Dismember. We're going to show it. Adam, I guess, said something to the effect of, please play Magic. Shaheen's going to play more Magic.
He knows the last card is Hans Thundermaw, Hellkite.
Yeah, like...
Sure.
Well, if you're gonna make me play Magic, I'm definitely gonna play.
Yeah. Might as well make the most out of your camera time.
Yep. I do that on Moto all the time too. Like when they won't concede to the onboard lethal like Hellbent, I'll just start pondering or whatever. Gonna attack.
Okay.
Yep. That's the game.
And she's Soorani.
Wow. So Shaheen seizes victory from a. I'm sure if he looked at that matchup on paper, he'd have been pretty frightened about it.
Percy's mulligan to 5.